minutes for your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. I want to start by thanking Chairman Burgess, Ranking Member Green, Vice Chairman Guthrie, and all members of this subcommittee for holding this hearing. And it's a very important hearing on the right to try. And I also want to thank my colleague and friend Andy Biggs for your partnership on this issue. Fellow colleagues, each year thousands of Americans receive the devastating news of a terminal diagnosis. Even with the amazing work done in American medical research and development, for far too many families, access to these potentially life-saving treatments will come too late or not at all. Thousands of terminally ill patients suffer needlessly while awaiting final approval for drugs, therapies, and other medical technologies. And while the Food and Drug Administration carries out its three-phase approval process, which can take years and cost billions of dollars, many patients simply want a chance to try treatments that are already demonstrated to be safe. Mr. Chairman, it is my hope that we can come together with federal regulators and industry leaders to clear the path forward to care for those who are fighting just for a shot at living. A bill that was unanimously passed by the Senate, will offer them a chance to extend their lives. The Right to Try Act would ensure that terminally ill patients, together with their physicians and pharmaceutical manufacturers, can administer investigational treatments where no alternative exists. In fact, this bipartisan idea is already the law in 37 states in our nation. A federal right to try law would prevent the government from blocking access to potentially life-saving medications. It would require patients who are unable to participate in clinical trials to first try all other available treatments. Mr. Chairman, I want to note that these provisions only apply to terminally ill patients. It does not undo FDA approval process, but rather provides a potential lifeline to those who simply cannot wait. It requires a physician to certify that all other options were exhausted or unavailable. This maintains the incentives for patients to seek out and join clinical trials. This bill requires that a product meet demonstrated levels of safety by obtaining FDA Phase 1 approval. We have worked with the drug companies to ensure that adverse outcomes are not used against any ongoing application for approval. Additionally, patients, doctors, and manufacturers do not assume any additional liability under this act. For those patients caught in between traditional drug approval delays, clinical trial process for which they do not qualify, and limited time, this right to try legislation simply establishes the freedom for patients and their doctors to try therapies where the benefits far outweigh the risks. It gives them the option of trying to save their life. Whether it's a father courageously battling ALS or a brave child living with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, my colleagues, they deserve the right to try. I want to sincerely thank the committee for your time and consideration, and as your colleague, I ask that you work with us to get this done on behalf of all terminally ill patients across America. All that we ask is that this bill be put on the floor of the House and allow each one of us to cast our vote and go home and answer for that vote. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Chair, thanks, gentlemen. Gentlemen, yield.